the sound comes, but the sound is very distorted when it comes through this ego. Ego is distorting everything. But what I want to say, what is the sign of the proper listening? The sign of proper listening, very important, is that if you listen properly, then it will create a very deep impression within your mind. If the attention is there, if respect is there, if faith is there, if you really want, eagerness is there to understand what is going on, then the impression will be very deep. And this deep impression, this deep spiritual impression, will give you taste. Because if we analyze properly our consciousness, we will understand very clearly that our taste is where our deepest samskaras are. You know, if somebody has very deep samskara for smoking, he will have taste for smoking. Wherever you have very deep samskaras, deep impressions in your mind, in your consciousness, then you will find taste. Why we don't find taste in chanting sometimes? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Because samskaras are not deep. And if we'll make, you know, when people chant 64 rounds every day, you know, for some time, the samskaras will become deeper and deeper and deeper. And the taste will become more and more pronounced. You know, that's the rule. That's a universal principle. If you have very deep samskaras for something, you will love it. You will find taste in it. So what I want to say, if we listen with a very open heart, very attentively, then it will give a very deep samskara in your mind. And this samskara will make sure that you will have spiritual taste. And the deepest samskara, when you will be dying, at the time of your death, and it will come sooner or later, believe it or not, everyone will have to die. So at the time of your death, only the deepest samskaras will be activated. And if you have deep samskaras for spiritual life, for sure, you will remember something spiritual. And ultimately, you will remember Krishna. But if you have more deep samskaras for anything else, you will remember this, you know, that's, you cannot really control your mind in the time of death. We cannot control our mind even when we are not dying, you know. What to speak about dying? You will not. Sometimes people, they have this foolish idea. Now I know what should I think in the moment of death. I will think about Krishna. Forget it. If you didn't learn how to think about Krishna in this life when you are not dying, then you will not think about Krishna in the time of death. And in order to think about Krishna in the time of death, you have to make the samskaras of your spiritual life as deep as possible, as profound as possible. And listening is the first installment on this path, the first step. And, you know, sometimes it's such a pity. There is a nice lecture and everyone is excited and, you know, everyone listened and there are some stories and this. After 15 minutes, you ask somebody what the lecture was about. And they will say, it was a very nice lecture, but I don't remember anything. What does it mean? It means that no samskaras left, no impressions. Very superficial. It's just, you know, it didn't really go deep. But if we want to achieve something in the spiritual life, we have to do the practice properly, and it starts from listening. And for that, you need humility. Because the pride is, as I said, the protective wall. Why? There is no point of telling Bhagavad Gita to Duryodhana, because he will not be able to understand it. Why Arjuna is the proper candidate? Because he's little humble. And because ultimately he surrenders and he says, formally he says, I'm your disciple and surrender soul. Krishna says, yes, okay. Now listen. You spoke enough. I know what you want to say. Now listen what I want to say. And Arjuna starts listening. And he still doesn't understand. And he still argues with Krishna. But Krishna patiently says, and ultimately Arjuna will say, Nashta moha smritir labdva. Ultimately, all my illusions are gone. And my memory, I regain my memory. Karishye vachadam tavan. I will do what you want me to do. I will do whatever you want. So that's the way of spiritual life.